Hey, Kevin Coy here with selfreliantlife.com, and we've got a few things to cover in this video. Stick around to the end because I'm going to talk to you about one of the most powerful things that has happened as a result of this project for me in building a tiny house, and I think you're going to really find it worth waiting till the end of the video. That's my teaser up front. So I get a lot of questions and a lot of feedback. The channel we started here in 2010, so we've been doing this now. We're going into our 9th year, and you know, we've come a long way from the humble beginnings of starting a YouTube channel and what am I going to do and how am I, you know, what do I want to put out there. And what I started with, if you go back into the videos toward the beginning of the series, was just doing some construction and of tiny house so you could see how to do it, building out walls, framing in windows and doors, and then we created a project there on a little 8x12 tiny house that we did. And because I thought that was something that people wanted and needed, was that type of education on construction and so forth, to empower them to be able to go out and do their own thing and have the confidence. And so that was kind of where we started, and that's kind of morphed over the years into this current project that we're on now, which is a much larger tiny house. And some would argue that it's not a tiny house. Others would say yes, it is a very tiny house. Just depends on what your perception of tiny is. That being said, one of the questions that I've heard as of late is, how come the house isn't done yet? And I get a little bit of a smirk on my face every time I see that, because it's just more of that perception. And you know, how long does it take to build a house? Well, that depends. There's a lot of factors. If you're dealing with a bank and you're dealing with a contractor and you're on a timeline, then you're under a lot of stress and need to get this house finished. You need to get to the next phase and so on and complete the project, because money's at risk, time's at risk, and everybody's pushing and shoving. The bank is, the contractor wants to get paid, and you know, there's a lot going on there. You've got maybe a bank loan at a construction interest rate, which is going to be higher than your normal financing rate on your mortgage, and so you don't want to be paying on that any longer than you have to. And you know, people are waiting to get paid, getting the project finished. There's all kinds of things happening there in that scenario. In this scenario, however, it's basically my project, my rules, and you know, you can build a house in as little as 30 days if you want to get everybody involved in it and get going and get all the people that you need to have it done. Since I'm an owner builder in this scenario, and it's just my wife and I for the most part, we're going to do it at our pace. We are doing it for cash. We don't have any deadlines. The only real deadline I think we probably had was earlier in the game, when we needed to dry the structure in to make it weather tight, so that we didn't have any damage to the materials from the elements. And so if you start in the spring or in early summer when you got good weather, that's not so much of an issue, but you don't really want to deal with rain or snow or anything like that when you're trying to build, because that can cause problems. And so the big push would be typically to shell it in, which is just getting the framing and the sheeting done, and then drying it in, which is the next step, which is basically just protecting the exterior in some fashion. Doesn't mean it's finished, but it means it's impervious to the elements, and so you're not dealing with any problems. And so basically tar papering the walls is what we did to dry the structure in, and then you could do that as well on the roof. But then if you get any wind, that's a potential for, you know, ripping all the paper off, and so you kind of want to get that roof done. That's a big deal. So we got it to that point, really made a big push to do that, and then we had the luxury of working on the interior at our own pace as we had time and desire to do so. And we've done a lot of other things in between. In fact, one of the reasons why we're not finished yet is we just spent basically the last 3 months traveling around the U.S. and abroad. Went to a number of countries and enjoyed ourselves, because we have the luxury of doing that because we don't have a mortgage. That's one of the big reasons. We don't have car payments. We don't have credit card payments. We don't have any debt. And having this home finished enough to live in, which it has been for quite some time. We've been living in it for over a year now. And we just haven't had that big push. And so when we decide to work on different projects around the house to keep the process moving, we do so. But we just took time off. We went to Costa Rica for a couple of weeks. We went to Tahiti for a few weeks. We went to Fiji and Australia and a couple different places around the U.S. Plus we've taken time off to go see our children and our grandchildren for a week or 10 days at a time, just as we wanted to go during the holidays and birthdays and things like that. And
tiny house tours while we were there too.
Yeah, and so we did, you know, if you watch some of the videos we're putting up, we still have some more to go. There's some tours of some tiny houses, which reaffirms to me that I'm going in the right direction, because when I see other cultures and other countries where the predominance for small homes exists, and I see how they live on a daily basis and how relaxed they are, then I know I'm doing the right thing. And I guess that's part of the reason why I haven't been banging away on this on a daily basis until it's finished, because quite frankly I don't have to, and I don't always want to. And so when I feel like I want to work on it, then I work on it. Yesterday we were working on the siding on this side of the house. This is the last bit of siding that's left to complete the exterior siding on the house. And honestly, that's getting up on the ladder and popping all those shingles on is tedious, and it's time consuming, and I got to be in the mood, quite frankly, to do it. And so we have, it's mid-January 2019. We got this great weather window for a week, no rain, sunshine, high 50s, you know, almost 60 degrees yesterday. And it felt really good to come out here and work on the house, and I enjoyed the process. I'm not under the gun to have to get it done, and it doesn't feel like work to me. It just is, it's enjoyable to me.
It makes it not stressful.
Yeah, I mean, there's no stress in the process. I don't have anybody pushing me to get this done, and maybe that's good, maybe that's bad, I don't know. A little bit from my wife, that's probably the stress I get, is, you know, we need to work on the house. So, but that's been, you know, that's been one of the benefits of being able to build your own home and pay cash to do it and not have to deal with bank financing and interest and payments and contractors and, you know, this whole gamut of things. So one of the things I also thought I'd toss out is, you know, what do you want to see this year? We're in our 9th season of YouTube, and I just kind of am curious, what would you like to see if I can do something to help you realize your dreams with your project? If you're looking to build a tiny home or a small home for yourself, what's holding you back? What's missing in the equation to give you the confidence or the push or whatever it is that we need to help you get there? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're looking for this year. We'll do our best to accommodate that if we can. But let's talk a little bit about what's been the biggest benefit in just getting this done and doing this project. Well, to me, I think the largest benefit has been that I'm very empowered and very confident and very capable now of building my own home. And this is the first one that I've built from start to finish on my own, including all the interior work, all the things that you would normally sub out if you were contracting, plumbing, electrical, interior finishes. That's all stuff that I have done a little bit of, but I haven't done an entire project like this, and so that's been really empowering for me. I'm very confident and capable now of, I could sell this house tomorrow, and I could go find another property somewhere else, and I would not hesitate to start building a house again. And so that's, I always have that ability wherever I am. I can be in another country, I can be anywhere in the US, I can go out and find a piece of property, build another small home, and know that confidently that I can do so. And it's really empowering to know that I'm never going to have a house payment again. I'm never going to have a mortgage. I'm never going to have to pay interest. I'm never going to have to pay rent. That is not something that I'm stuck with anymore. And so because of that, I have a lot of freedom, both financially and time-wise, and Anise and I get up every day and decide what we want to do. And that's a huge plus in owning your own home outright without any payments. And so my cost of living is very low, and my ability to get up every day and decide what I want to go do is very high. And so I think that's probably one of the biggest takeaways that I've had in this process. And so I'm very, you know, what's a great word for this? I don't know. Confidence, not necessarily it, but just happy, I guess, that I have that ability and can go out. There's a lot of peace of mind that comes with that, and so I think it's one of the most powerful things you can do today is learn how to build your own home and do so, because look where it'll put you in the world, with that being the largest #1 expense in your life. If you can eliminate that or drastically reduce, which is what we've done, that cost of existence, shelter, it's amazing what it'll do for you. I mean, the whole perspective on life changes, everything you've got. Just, I mean, I hear nothing but people struggling every day on forums and groups, complaining about the high cost of living, complaining about what it costs to rent or buy a piece of property or a home. And they're desperately seeking alternatives to having to deal with that all their lives, because that is the biggest cost of living is shelter, housing. And so being able to scale back and say, hey, look, I don't know if I want to live in a teeny tiny little 8 by 15 or 20 house, or I want to live in a van, or I want to live in a small home. I certainly don't want to live in a big home because it costs so much to purchase and maintain, and with the interest and everything that goes with that, I'm just slave to that. We kind of met in the middle. This is not a tiny home, but it's certainly a small home and compared to what average homes are out there today being built by far. And at 24 by 24, it's a great size for us. Could we live smaller? You bet. We've lived larger, definitely.
You've lived smaller.
And we've lived smaller than this, yeah. So one of the things that we're looking at doing coming in the future, and just let me know what you guys think about this, is we're looking about buying a van and building it out and turning it into a something we can live and travel in, and part of the year, and then the other part of the year we've been considering getting a sailboat, and spending part of the year on a sailboat, kind of bouncing back and forth, because the weather windows change in those two things, and so that we feel is like kind of the best of both. And so those are projects that are potentially coming up on the horizon. We've been seriously discussing those as future lifestyle changes, and so let me know what you think about that. Anyway, I don't want to ramble, but I just thought I'd talk about this. We're probably going to bang on some more of this sighting out here today, and we're really enjoying life. Life is good. We're happy. We're comfortable. We are content with what we have, and we're very excited about the future, and I hope you are too. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, and I'll see you out there on the next video. Hey, I just want to thank you for watching this video and all the videos that we have on our channel. We've been doing this since 2010, and we're very excited that we've got about almost 18,000 subscribers all over the world now. And just wanted to ask a favor of you. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, hit the like button, and do me a favor, and if you want to keep seeing great videos, comment below. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to see more of, and subscribe and ring that little bell over there, and that way you'll know exactly when I come up with another great idea. You'll be notified as well, one of the first people. So just think about that, and hey, I'll see you out there on the next video.